Welcome, folks, to the second episode of Poppy Playtime. This is Chapter 2, A Fly in the Web. Now, of course, we are skipping the intro as customary. We'll never listen to these intros. That is just how things are going to be, because I refuse to watch them. It's just annoying to me. This is the mobile version, if you couldn't tell, which is pretty hard to tell. Now, this brightness needs to be at the absurd speed. You know, wait, hold on, I can change the controls and settings. Hold on, real quick, I'm gonna go check settings again to see what I can do with controls. I don't see anything, there's a settings button thing. Hold on. No, let's go back in. What does that do? Oh, I'm gonna set it to smooth. Okay, now, anyways. Oh, I like so much better now. So, as we were saying, this is the second episode, I believe. Obviously, now through PNG hallways. It's a bunch of stock photos. Yeah, I think that's a bunch of stock photos. That's like, did they even put the correct images in here? How rushed was this chapter? Obviously, I've never played with these controls before. I have played this chapter on mobile before, though. Let's go, Huggy! This is obviously a teaser that Huggy lives, as you can see in Chapter 4. But besides that... Anyways, I'm gonna close my door real quick. There's people talking in the rest of the house. I gotta go ahead and get the recording correctly. Anyways, now, grab the random key, because of course we're gonna grab a random key, because of course we trust it. Now, anyways, that was just a door shutting. There was nothing to worry about. Now, if you don't know, I'm making the Cold Wave series, which is based on Poppy Playtime. Specifically, Chapter 4 is what it's based on. In the good old, on my other channel, Blood Squad, which I will include a link to Cold Wave in the description of this video. No, I won't include it in the description.
Is the product of a great man by the name of Elliot
Ludwig.
Lore
thing.
Divorced, but
back
a
when
family
they
man
actually
at
used
heart.
videos from the
His sights were
VHS,
always set on bringing
for some reason
amazing
stopped doing,
toys to amazing
as seen
children
in Chapter
around the
3 and
globe.
Chapter 4,
Ludwig spent countless hours in the factory, working overtime relentlessly in an attempt to continuously innovate
they have a VHS
and
without a
surprise.
screen, so you can't
In the
even see
1960s, an
anything
unfortunate family death had pushed Ludwig down to his lows.
just done those.
But with so much ambition,
Now,
he rose back up and continued
my
to
least
fulfill
favorite
his
chapter
vision for the
happens to be
Playtime Co.
Chapter
toy
1.
factory.
Because Chapter 1
Ludwig
is
could
both
never be
short
content leaving a project
and not
unfinished.
sweet.
But
It's
just
not
how did
good
one
for
man
our first chapter,
hire?
in my opinion.
How did he manage to
My
stay
experience in Chapter
determined
1
even after
isn't the
suffering
best.
such a tragic loss?
I've played it,
It
and
all
as you can
began
see
in
my
the
Chapter
fateful
1
year
playthrough, I don't
of
really like it.
19...
Now, for some reason in the middle of this one, the thing just randomly cut in. Like, the thing cut again. I need to check the brightness settings up. It randomly cut halfway through the recording, so you'll probably see a giant cut scene. Not like literally cut scene, but like a scene that was cut.
Oh,
Random.
sorry.
Now, of course, I have
didn't mean
figured
to
out better
scare
ways
you.
to end video
I
recordings.
was just
I'll
turn the power
figure
back
out
on.
if it's even good
Here.
for that. Now, this is our first time using Poppy in the entire game, and Poppy is the main character, apparently, of the series. Like, she is the name of the series. Poppy Playtime is her full name. So how important is Poppy genuinely gonna be? The series is called Poppy Playtime. Chapter 1 really doesn't have much importance to her, but also has the most importance, being both the scene where we get them out, but also we don't really see them that often. And then Chapter 3 shows her more as an ally, as seen in a lot of scenes. And then Chapter 4 shows her definitely as an ally until the ending where she betrays us. Even though she doesn't betray us and takes her away, you're not supposed to like Poppy. Like, not much.
Come on.
There's such a wait between Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. I feel wrong about it. Cause, like, Chapter 1 and 2 aren't supposed to be this good. Chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all supposed to be experienced in a span of a couple of days. because you shouldn't really like Poppy ever.
But
Chapters 3 and 4, majority vote of them make you like Poppy because there's such a wait between each chapter. Chapter 5 might make you hate Poppy again, but if we went into chapter 3 after chapter 2, there would be more, and I mean way more people hating on Poppy. Because as someone who's played all of chapter 2, I know how chapter 2 ends. I have not played chapter 3 before. I have played chapter 4 though, because chapter 4 means more to me. I will release a game video on both of those ones later into this month of October. Now, obviously, this section is a bit bugged. It shows more of a prototype and less of a mommy long lines than like one in the mobile version. If you couldn't tell, I am playing mobile. I'm only playing mobile because it's like my best option. It's not the greatest option of all time actively, but it's my best one. Now, I need to give you a warning. I won't show you my full reaction to the end of chapter 2 as the end of chapter 2. Because as part of one of the things I was doing, when in this recording I was experimenting to see if I could guess what the code is. Because I'm like 90% sure it changes every time you play the game. And I just guessed a code, and I got it correct, and I just experienced the ending that way in this one. So you'll get my full reaction to the ending, including some funny little commentary with it. But you won't get the reaction to the ending in the way you're supposed to beat the game. I beat the game unintentionally, and then yes, you do see me boarding and entering the code for the train, but I won't show you the whole thing. I don't have much interesting things to say afterwards. Now anyways, we're entering the game station, and of course it's time to get into the action. You! I'm sorry, but Mr. Mommy Long... It's Mrs. Mommy Long. I don't mean to misgender you. But anyways, Mrs. Mommy Long... That's called robbery, and down here... Around here, we ain't such a fan of that. Standardly over here, you shoot you with weaponry. But see here, I don't get the weaponry until chapter 3. So until then, folks, you're safe. For now. Let me out of here, man. Look, man, if you're gonna rob me and threaten me, I still want me to leave with my life. I mean, it's more logical to not behave, man. You're not that smart from my knowledge. I mean, you're just a child. You know, when I say that sentence out loud, I sound like a monster. But when you take the appropriate context for it, I'm not so bad of a person. See, you're trying to kill me, so I'm gonna insult who you are. Alright, you're very cold. How did you open the door? It's like having master control of the place? No. I don't see any cameras or anything nearby here that would make the doctor be able to. I think it would be nice if the doctor was added into every chapter or something. Just somewhere there watching you constantly. No voice lines, just there. Also, I feel like chapter 1 was so underutilized because it has to be a shortest chapter. Chapter 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, all of them, well, we have no idea if there is a 6th chapter. But, even then, I just feel like it was underutilized, man. Chapter 1 is the core part of the facility. Chapter 1 is the beginning of the storyline. Chapter 1 involves you inside the Playtime Co. factory for the first time, and you barely explore the factory section of it. You aren't even in a damn factory for most of Playtime Co. Thank God it's Poppy Playtime and not called Playtime Co. Because if it was called Playtime Co., oh my, I would be such a hater of this series. Because it's wrong in how it tells itself. Because it ain't that. Just isn't and never will really be. Anyway, so from my knowledge as well, I'm using CapCut for this. And I don't know what this AI Ultra HD thing is. I don't know if I should trust it or not. So I will probably just release this video as I normally would release all my other ones. All the other ones have the same setting on, so if you like the way all my other videos work, they look way better than the original recording, so I'm gonna hope that this is just a good thing. and not using other things. If you hear text messages that's from another device nearby, yeah, sorry. I'm sorry if you keep hearing text messages and like checking your phone and stuff like that. Oh crap, someone got me. Ah! And then you just scream around as you enter the slime. Now anyway, we have to reset it because we accidentally soft-locked ourselves like any good idiot would. Now, time to pull the lever and stop exploring this damn place. I mean, I think Playtime Co. is a really interesting place to explore, considering how cool of an area it is. Like, I think it would be better to have more free exploration for Chapter 5. I don't think Chapter 4 or Chapter 3 need to change anything. I think Chapter 5, though, should be made specifically, like, with the ending of Chapter 5, where you have to lead the orphans out, most likely. I think Chapter 5 would be best if, like, you could now fully explore every one of those areas with only one threat and a way to hide from it being easy. The prototype being the only survivor, as you just have to find your path up to the second floor. You fell into the second floor. I don't think there's a way out. But I don't think the train wouldn't be there. I don't think they wouldn't have multiple trains, considering how many experiments occurred, how fast they had to have occurred as well, considering the bigger body experiment started in like 1990 from our knowledge, and there was about 1,334, no, there's at least 1,412. 12 of them as of an experiment number. That could be our latest experiment that we know of, but there definitely could have been way more experiments.
Hi, kids.
Now, that is what is important. Time for musical memory, which is my favorite of the games. Maybe Whack-A-Wuggy's a bit cool as well. I mean, I really like all of the games. Statues is fun, it's just the least fun of all of them. Wish that every version of the game, not just the mobile one, had an option to just replay Whack-A-Wuggy and stuff. Because I think that would be fun. Now, time for us to play Bunzo's section, the fun part, with the Markiplier reference. Now, anyways, going down here, time for Green Hand, suckers. And I do really like Green Hand. So, like, musical memory doesn't have any inherent stakes, but it has some of the highest stakes, because you have no idea where Bunzo is, because you can't look up. If you look up, then you're gonna probably forget a pattern. So you have no clue how close you are, how close Bunzo is. With Whack-A-Wuggy, yeah, you hear the footsteps, but you'll be able to see the threats and hit them for you. It's just way more scary. With statues, it's the opposite. You will always know where PJ Puzzlepillar is. In the most dangerous sections is when you know where he is, when he's just getting closer. I never have died to Bunzo before. And in this one, I don't think I died to a single time besides falling down a pit during the chase scene at the very end. Which is why I'm not clickbaiting you with jump scares. Instead, I tend to be using like the main game's Steam banner, or maybe just this, maybe just like the red stuff and then an image of the character. Or a specific landmark kind of thing I really thought was interesting, then with the image of the character. The double border, if we're calling it that. Which I, as of recording this, am only going to start incorporating double borders into what I call every video. But double borders are basically you put a black border around stuff and then you put a white border around stuff. And that's always how things are going to go. And no, I don't mean bordering that way. I mean bordering like the stuff so you know what I mean. If you don't know what I mean, I seriously fear for who you are. Now, we need the paint. We need the green paint, which I don't know why we need, because the green paint doesn't contribute crap to this thing. Like, the hand would work perfectly fine. It doesn't matter what color it is. I mean, it's ridiculously stupid. The hand sensors that use stuff like the green hand and stuff are like the way I think they are. Then yes, maybe the green hand is required. Also, from my knowledge, you still have to do musical memory to open the train. That's something from my knowledge. You have to do musical memory still. Be glitchless. If you do a glitch and stuff, then yeah, I think you actually could. Like, the issue is that you need a green hand to open it. So you would have to use the memory on it. So speedrun really would just be rushing through all these sections to make it out and back out of musical memory into the train as fast as possible, which would be complicated. Also, do you think, do they do like speedruns for the mobile versions of the game? Because I think it would be interesting to see what changes between the basic version and a speedrun category, and like getting the VHSs to work in chapter 1 would be really funny. Like, get this damn VHS working, mate! I need every single VHS working right now, motherfucker. Is Playtime canonically British? Or are they also a good old red and blue blooded American? Are they American or are they great? It's a great question. I do like this green hand thing. I haven't gotten to use it much considering, well, I've never had chapter 2 or chapter 3, and chapter 4 doesn't have the green hand because you lose it at the end of chapter 3. The green hand was such an innovative idea. Same for like the flare and the purple.
I know when your birthday is. June 28th.
There's plenty of other ideas. The grappling hand is one of the ideas that one of my buddies, I think, entitled Suffering as an called. I'll probably include a link to his channel in the description because he deserves one, considering he is what really got me into
Welcome to
I was
musical
already
memory.
really into Bobby Playtime. It's just he got me
This
more
advanced
into it.
memory and cognitive recognition
And my
test
cold race
is
series, I
designed
have
to
the character
stimulate
there,
several
and it's
segments
mainly based
of the
on
brain,
chapter 4.
allowing
So
us
I have
to see
some
how
decent
quickly
impressions of
and
chapter 4
efficiently
too.
your brain works.
Here's my doctor one. As you can see,
A sequence of colors will be shown, and you must recreate the exact sequence using the buttons around you.
Explained what path was the
Bunzo will
correct
slowly
one.
lower
Still,
towards you.
You hit the train.
When you complete a color pattern correctly, Bunzo will rise back up.
Truck
When
in my
you input a
favor is
pattern
going to be-
incorrectly, Bunzo will lower
What's
towards
up,
you
Bunzo?
faster.
Bunzo.
If Bunzo reaches
Anyways,
you,
yeah, if you hear
your
like a
test is over.
sound effect or thing,
The test will become more difficult
If you
as
hear one
it
of those things,
continues,
that is because
with
I'm being
longer
cautious.
patterns in
Not because
quicker
I don't-
succession.
Not because it needs it.
That's all.
I've only used the F
Good
word
luck.
3 times, and it's only 17 minutes out of the hour long. That is our chapter 2 video. So, obviously, I need to stay safe.
Oh, isn't it
Now,
amazing?
obviously, I recorded this in a
Mommy
session.
hasn't seen the
4.
place up and running in years.
3.
Mommy can only imagine how
Session
exciting
1
Bunzo
was
must be.
the one with
It's
just
been
us
such a
telling
long
you
time since he's
Then
been able to
session 2 was us and how
play, to cheer.
Whack of Wuggy. No, it was after we got out of Whack of Wuggy. And session 3 was everything
That's
after
the dinner
statues.
bells. Good
It was
luck.
basically statues and all the rest. But yeah. We did do everything you can do in the game.
Green.
Anyways, let's begin. We gotta get those greens. Green, hand me the
Red.
green. Hand me the money, folks. Green, red.
Green.
Now your hands are
Red.
red because you kept
Yellow.
pillaging them for the money. Now you have more money.
Green.
Now you
Red.
have more money
Yellow.
and the money has
Yellow.
been pissed on. Green, red, yellow, yellow. Keep on pissing on your dang money,
Red.
man. What the hell,
Yellow.
man?
Yellow.
After pissing on the
Green.
money, now you gotta earn more money. You're now selling your piss money for every single one of your glorious sits.
Round 2.
Time for round 2, folks.
Green.
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 Oh, we gotta
Red.
earn money. Our hands are now red again.
Green. Red.
Now we have
blue.
Now we're depressed because we keep on harming
Green.
the others
Red.
for our
blue,
own gain.
Yellow.
Then we piss on our money again. Again, after
Green.
all,
Red.
that's the moral of
blue,
the story.
Yellow. Green.
Then we earn more money after selling our pissed on money to our simps.
Green.
Again.
Red. Blue. Yellow.
Then,
Green.
Now,
Violet.
we have created a new color. We have immediately, we have bought our way to gain ultraviolet vision.
Round 3.
Now, with the ultraviolet vision, it's time for round 3.
Blue.
Now we're depressed again because we can see everyone
White.
die in new colors.
Blue. White.
Now, everything is going to
White.
us.
Blue.
We've seen God, and we don't like him. Actually, no,
White.
we like him.
Blue.
He's
Blue.
mad at us, though. And we're more depressed because God is mad at
White.
us now.
Blue. Blue.
Now that
Violet.
now going back, we're gonna get some more ultraviolet radiation and ultraviolet outside.
Blue. White.
We'll be able to see
Blue.
new colors in
Violet.
this color spectrum. Then we meet God again, we get more depressed. Then we gain more ultraviolence. Then we paint our hands orange and meet the crap out of a local villager named Ted. Then we're depressed again. Of course, we get depressed and meet we get depressed and learn what love is. Love is after stuff with the letter J. Then we gain ultraviolet radiation as a superpower, figuring out what love is. Then we get too much of our dang pie, and we eat way too much of it, and now we're really fat. So we're depressed again. We're depressed. Then we do things wrong again. Then we hunt for pie, as much pie as we physically can. We feel love again, and we get ultraviolet radiation, and we get too high. So now you're ultra depressed. You ate too much. Then now you're high because you added way too many of them. And there's no way you can get out of there. You are too far. You've gone too far. There's no escape. This is now your game. Damn yourself. Then you blow up your entire life. That is how all good feel-good stories end when you want to. Anyway, see you later, because this is the
For
first
doing
recording.
such a
Still more to do.
splendid job, Mommy has
Right now,
decided to
don't
give you
Well,
part
anyway,
of
that's
the
everything.
code
That was a
for the
lot.
trade.
We just need that code. I just have to take off one of my hangnails. You know, just everything we got, man. Now, anyways,
Mommy
we did
was
nuke our
hoping the
entire
game
base.
could last
After
a
we
little
owned the most
longer.
capitalistic empire. We
It's
can see
okay,
every color on the
Mommy
fucking color
knows
spectrum.
other
We
ways.
met God like 18 times and got really depressed every time we done. And we put some of our money and gave the money to us. And now, since we blew up our base, now we can't use it correctly. So now we have lost the base most vital aspects to it. The world used to be yours. You used to have money, fame, power. But now you have no money, no fame, and without money or fame and without power, you can't piss on any of it and sell it to your fans to earn money back. But you can throw yourself into a fan, because of course you can. Because no matter how poor you are, fans will always work. Now, these two were supposed to be sent to Playcare, am I right? Hold on, that Playcare sign was a huge hint to what's happening in Chapter 2. It's happening in Chapter 3, where you go to Playcare. I'm wondering if there was any hints to Chapter 4 and safe haven stuff. Maybe Doughy. Was there any mentions of it in Chapter 3? I don't have a clip for you, so I won't force the editor to find anything. But in Chapter 3, I will tell myself if I did find anything for it. I have not played Chapter 3 yet at all, so you're gonna get a first reaction of what it sounds like to me playing it. Of course, I will make the audio file while I'm playing it, right? No, I don't do that. I don't make audio files when I'm playing the games. I do it afterwards. It's kind of like a reaction thing. Now, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and take this cloth and we're gonna drag it all the way over here. For taking Braun and moving him a bit, and doing an innovation team thing and putting Braun somewhere else where he's not supposed to be. If you don't know what the reference is, in the Dr. Harley Sawyer interview that occurred back in March? Maybe May, maybe June, maybe... I'm not sure exactly when it happened, but it does mention that the innovation team had a phase where they really like putting Braun everywhere. Braun everywhere. You look. Your birthday, he's there. Your weekday, he's there. Your weekend, he's there. Your Saturday, he's there. Your Wednesday, Braun is always there. Braun is watching. Braun is all-knowing. Braun is the new god of playtime code. I think that's why we've never seen Braun show up in a single Poppy Playtime game, because he's God. And did the crane thing just start floating? Am I going crazy? I can't even judge it. I'm going crazy, but I can't judge it, man. Anyways, so we're about halfway through the video already, which is really making me question what those shenanigans back inside the game stations, like main area, really did cause, considering a whack-a-lucky whole section, all of that other jazz. All of that only takes up 18 more minutes and only leaves us to 40 minutes, which overall makes it so you know, the amount of chaos that had to have been going on, the amount of lunacy that happened back over there in the game station was absolutely off the charts. The buffoonery was insane. That was some ludicrous. This is some ludicrous tomfoolery. And yes, I'm using a bunch of fancy words for insanity. Why wouldn't I? You've given me no reason not to. I mean, you might be able to, but tell you what convince me otherwise, why would I? For me, I do like Chapter 2 as in the whole storyline for Chapter 2 works well, as it's a good way to get you into it. Chapter 1 isn't great for getting you into it. Chapter 2 really is, though, because Chapter 2 has a full storyline like Chapter 4 and 3 do, but in a different way than they do. All the chapters have figured out a way to give you a central hub where you have to do a bunch of things to make it to a boss fight. Chapter 2 does it in a weirder way than all the other ones do. The safe haven is my favorite of the bunch. In Chapter 4, you have to do all of this complex stuff just to make it back. It's incredible, it's fun, it's easy, it's quick, it's free, it's incredible. By all aspects. But still, weird.
I'm sure she's already told you that herself. Our next
Another thing, how does YouTube take up so much downstairs data? How does it take up that much? How is it taking that much? It's uploading it to a server. Am I insane? I would have no gigabytes left of storage if it didn't. Considering my videos, all of them, and I mean all of them, are ludicrous in how they're created.
Welcome to Wacka
I mean,
Wuggy.
I worked hard on most of them. Now
This
time for the
advanced
second
test
best
is
one of the
designed
bunch.
to assess the extent
Wacka
of
Wuggy.
your
Wacka Wuggy
reactionary
isn't the most
abilities.
scary. You aren't seeing it in the chair,
dual palm
but you can
grab
see where their
bag
steps
will be
coming and you
provided
have
to
to
you
get
for
them.
this test.
Gotta anticipate it.
Around
But
you
just
are
like No
18
Man's Land
sizable
section with
holes.
Yarnaby,
An
the
adorable
issue is
Huggy
it does
Wuggy toy
reward you
could
for being
appear at
cautious,
any one
and
of these holes.
I prefer when horror games don't do
If
that.
one comes out,
When taking a
hit it
risk
with
is the
your
best
grab bag.
idea, even though it's stupid.
That's all.
Because when a
Good
stupid
luck.
risk works, it's incredible. When being cautious works, it's yeah, I expected it to, which makes it less cool, less
In
fun.
this game used to have strings
I mean,
attached to
yeah,
them.
it definitely still works, just less fun than usual that way. So, yeah, nah. I prefer the horror to not be anticipated. Now, every time in this game, first up, I never knew Mommy Longlegs dropped the strings there. Second up, Mommy Longlegs sometimes just enters in. And something I've noticed is that Chapters 3 and Chapter 4 are both created by Pringle Game Studio for the mobile ports. Ports instead of just Mob are way better. I've played Chapters 4 and Chapter 3, at least a little bit of each, and they're so much better than Chapters 1, 2. It immediately brings you to the title screen, which is way more similar to what the title screen is for Chapters 3 and 4 than what Chapters 2 and 1 have way more compact and stuff. Yeah, you're gonna see it correctly, considering the way this is created and the way that things record. Considering things are only covered on phones because of technicality, it's not real there. That black bar thing that's at the top, that thing right there, by a technicality, is simply not there, really. I mean, it's not the most thing. When recording a video, you're not going to actually see that. You're going to see way more than you could actually see. Because in the actual one, you could not see that Huggy right there. You don't have such a good view. And since you can't pull back the camera until Chapter 4, you're going to have way worse looking things. But yeah, it's still a cool chapter in general. Chapter 2 has fun gimmicks. You having to hit people just in the face. Wacka Wuggy's fun. It's just insane how long it takes. Eventually, everything is coming out of the 18 sizable holes. And if you have Huggy Wuggy dolls coming out of your sizable holes, especially if you have 18 sizable holes, I think that's too many sizable holes and too many Huggy dolls. Now, anyways, we need to get all... Oh, thank God, the thing's over.
Oh, you did it.
How does... Why do they have strings on them? Why are they real alive Huggies and not fake ones? That is the real thing. The strings make some sense if they weren't real, but since they are real, then why, I may ask, then, you know, why are they real? Why? Seems like a waste of use. These bad boys could be in the bottom or something. They aren't worth risking this. It's not a worthwhile risk. It's not a good idea. Will they understand me? No, they won't. But I will beat them up in an IKEA for it. So, yes. In my main channel, Lead Squad, that one will have one more thing I need to say about it. It's Chapter 4. Junior Plays Chapter 4 series is not officially over, but it's not getting another part in a day or 5 or 9 or 7 or 8 million years. All I'm gonna say is that I don't think it's gonna get any new videos or any new content. Jesus Christ, this thing is bright. I mean, that thing's bright enough to send someone to God, back, then introduce them to a new God, create a new religion, summon your cult empire, and then send them to the depths of hell. Oh, hey, what's up? So this is the third time we've been faked out on a Wuggy. What the hell? Well, this is actually the first time. The second time you were faked out on a Wuggy was in Chapter 3, I believe. The Nightmare Wuggy, that guy wasn't real. In Chapter 4, you were faked out because you thought it was Kissy, looking at their condition and stuff, but that was actually the actual villain. That was Huggy. Is Huggy Wuggy the main villain of the series? He shows up in a way, shape, and form in every chapter. I mean, BoogieBot also shows up in every chapter in a way, shape, or form. So, but Huggy shows up in a way more influential stance. But also, this is a really creative puzzle with having to learn how to use the green hand creatively. Though, it is weird how Chapter 3 kind of does do what an issue of every one of these games does, is it doesn't think of it, it accesses a game, considering that's how most of the chapter games are actually programmed. They're programmed basically as a launcher that launches any of the games, and then the whole chapter. Like, a game with chapters isn't actually programmed to be a game with chapters. It's just programmed to be a game itself, and then it's gonna be different this way. Like, here's how most chapter games are programmed, with them having basically a launcher for each game as your way of accessing every chapter. But when you flow between chapters, that is what causes the issue. Like, when a chapter flows well, because if a chapter flows well, it can create way more issues. Because, like, if someone wants to get into the series, I don't think Chapter 3 is a great time to join it. But either Chapter 4 or any of those ones. But that doesn't mean their whole, like, puzzles are more complicated than any of the other chapters are. Because they aren't, because that's just how the chapters are made. Since the chapters are treated as separate games, because anyone can enter at any chapter point, it causes the issue with they're not being real difficult to scale. Yes, the most difficult moments are in Chapter 4, and the least difficult moments are in Chapter 1. But it's not the best kind of difficulty shining. Like, in Chapter 4, yeah, the Doctor boss fight and the Army and all that stuff is some of the harder boss fights that you've had in the game series. I agree with that statement, but also, they're not like much harder. They're not bigger than the other ones. Like, you aren't generally gonna struggle more if you haven't played the chapters than if you had, because the way the boss fights are made, they're practically standalone in every chapter. Now back to PNG hallways, where they don't have the actual walls added in, because of course they wouldn't have the goddamn wall textures in. Because, you know, that's not like one of the most important things that the game can have. Now anyway, we've beaten Whack-A-Wuggy, and as you've seen in the intro, time for us to go to the train station and ruin the entire thing. What's up, pal? Time for our Let's Play of we already know how this is gonna end, so we might as well do this fun stuff. Now, we can't actually jump during this voice line, because apparently we can't jump during voice lines, apparently, because that is absolutely the most intelligent thing the game could ever have done. ever will do. But eventually, yeah, now we can jump. Now we can enter. Now it's time to do some randomizing. Actually, are we going to do check the code over here? Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's weird that after Whack-A-Wuggy, you still can. Like, Whack-A-Wuggy, the only thing you get out of that third code part is really just what the numbers are. And not the hardest. I do actually have to ask this. Now, I have no idea what actually happened, but the game kind of crashed, so I just sent us to a good point. Now, anyways, time to edit this so it's correct. You're going red, and you, Mommy Longlegs, are going blue. Then we're going to select you, and of course, 4, because I believe that's... Okay. God dang it. Okay, so it is actually the same code per game. Now, what do we do here? Like, what do we do inside the train? Now that we can't leave it, we're now facing kind of at an angle. Hold on. Are we supposed to, like, pull a lever or something? That one's a big boy lever. That one's not working. What about the other one? Which one? Yeah, that one. We've activated the train, boys. Time for us to end the game. So, of course, my reaction to the actual ending of the game is now. If you want to skip to the statue section, well, I'm not going to include a link for you, or anything for you, honestly, because you don't really need one. Because, honestly, this is just where the comedy is coming from. Anyways, as we're driving off from our undeserved victory, time for us to say that we literally just guessed the code, and we got to leave as fast as I possibly could. Now, Mommy Longlegs, you might say that this isn't fair, that I cheated, that I was supposed to play your games and get your little code. Well, you never specified I couldn't try and guess the code. So if you're going to want to kill me for this, then you are incorrect for your murders. Wait, hold on.
I was so scared she'd put me back in that cage.
How are you here?
But
I've played the whole game. I know where you're kept. You are not kept here. How are you here? I want Mob Entertainment to add something like if you're able to guess the code after chapter 5, where there's
never met anyone like
spoilerly. If you were able to guess the code without freeing Poppy, then you just drive off and have an ending there. The reason it would be after chapter 5, though, one, endings, but 2, because you might encounter the prototype and have a harder version of the base prototype boss fight. Boss fight where you have to mid-track with no idea who he is. And this would probably be considered the cursed ending. Because, hey, you freed everyone from the prototype. On the other end, you just fucking left. You just walked in and said, you know what, hell nah. But you didn't leave by just going out the exit door. No, you took the bottom train. There should be an exit path for every single chapter. Like a way you could just straight up leave for all of them. And didn't have to deal with a harder variant of the prototype boss fight. The farther into chapters you go, different difficulty. Like chapter 1, you could just straight up leave the place right after seeing Huggy disappear. And that would be the hardest form of prototype boss fight, considering you only have one hand. Yeah, let's hold on for dear life, considering we're about to make a collision. We're about to do the classic American-style drunk driving move. We're gonna crash this. Now we need to hit the goddamn brakes on this thing. We need to stop the train. I wanna know if something changes if you don't stop it. Yeah, we're stopping the thing now. We're going to speed like a one-foot rocket. We are above a giga coaster right now. The most thrilling coaster of all time. Do you actually die at the end of it? Congratulations. That is your new fate, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how you're gonna die. Because you fell off a roller coaster because you were being lame. Now, of course, the game did actually crash randomly. I am not going crazy over that. That did genuinely happen beforehand. But anyways, yeah, we've beaten the game now. Congratulations. We've had fun. Now, anyways, so you can see the credits there, but we're not going to care about that because it's time for us to go back to normal. Yeah. Okay, gang, so now we're going to do statues, actually, and not just do the funny business of immediately getting to the ending of the game. Because, you know, like any good bean does, immediately cheating. Yeah, nah, I know I've done 3. I know I'm insanely good. There is no need, no one gave me permission to be this good. I am just better than all of you, and you need to accept that, okay? Now, anyways, for the egotistic maniac over here, Why I want this to open? Dude, I want this to open, so it's gonna open whether you want it or not. This took me like a solid hour for me to figure out how to open a door. I'm not joking. The first time I played through this game, it took me almost an hour. If you hear something in my hands, that is a Lego fidget thing I built. Again, I've mentioned it before, but just in case you didn't know about it. This puzzle really did stump me for a bit, but then I figured out exactly how to... But mainly, you have to use, like, the green-handed stuff. And stuff to get this working. Gotta do that. So, for my base channel, Lud Squad, the whole Chapter 4 videos will not be coming out for quite a while, considering how much Chapter 4 stuff I'm working on for this channel. Eggcon Empire is the gaming channel, so you will likely get more content here than you will ever get on Lud Squad, and I will officially announce the channel on Lud Squad on the Friday. Have you heard of the new Nintendo Direct? Oh wait, hold on. No, I don't even get to mention that, considering it's not new to you guys, considering it came out like a month ago for y'all. As of recording it, it's September 11th right now, which was when the September 12th Nintendo Direct happened. I mean, I know there was important things that also happened on this. We're going back upstairs. But I believe that the Nintendo Direct was really cool. Just to announce randomly on such a good day. I mean, not good things happened here a couple of years ago. I mean, a couple of them. It's been about 20 years or so since it happened. But still, it was a tragedy. I do have to state that just because I had to mention what goddamn day it was. Anyway, so, if the writing for all of these episodes seems to be worse than any of the episodes that came out recently, I doubt, considering my writing style doesn't really change much. But yeah, it's time to play Statues. This game just made me struggle earlier when I first played the game. Again, Chapter 3 is going to be the one that you're going to like. You're going to like Chapter 3 more than any of the other chapters, because I have played the death out of all the other chapters. Now, anyways, I gotta real check the footage again. Now, anyways, again, it's time for us to continue into the statues part. Now, I mean, I do like how the lore goes out here. Because if you pay attention to the lore, you can figure out that they were using orphans as early as Chapter 2. But could you really figure that out? It would be hard to figure all of this stuff out by Chapter 2. It clearly built up a story with Rich, but they clearly didn't build it out well, considering... Well, they built it out well, they just didn't show it more in Chapter 4. So unless it was completely complete in Chapter 3, which I doubt, maybe... You know, I don't know, actually. I do like how the story goes with, like... I hate how that happens in the mobile version. It just, like, flickers a bit just to taunt you. Now, obviously, I turned my brightness up to maximum settings so you can see in the dark. It's both for you and mainly for me, considering I suck at this section. I don't look back either because I don't want to see PJ poke apart. Anyway, I also suck at this section. I mean, I know that there is stuff inside certain areas that you can explore, but I'm never going to the harder sections. I'm always going to do the easiest ones, and you're never going to stop me. I choose the easy mode because it's fast, not because it's reliable or easy enough. It's just faster for me. Overall, the effectiveness is pretty good. If you notice how there's 20 more minutes left, that really does show you how incredibly weird the end game is for this game. I haven't cut anything from the video length, by the way. Like, this video is the exact length it would normally be. So, nothing is edited here. This is the exact video as I caught it. Which means I was able to actively play the entire game in about an hour. Which was pretty cool. Considering almost every other YouTuber had, like, a 2-hour one from my knowledge. So, I did pretty good. That was also their first playthrough. So, you know, you got to see stuff. This section single-handedly took me like 10 minutes because I just didn't see the hole there. Again, just like how other chapters in the game act. this game really deals with the issue of it's more scary with lower brightness, but you can't see anything without the brightness. And without being able to see anything, you'll be stuck in every room for like an hour straight. And for Chapter 4, the best I've done for it has been about an hour for the first section until you get to the safe haven. Maybe, I hate this section. Requires efficiency like that. Yeah, that's hard to do. I can't get rid of, like, the mobile control stuff. So, yeah, it's not going to look great for the first 2 chapters. I'm going to hope that Chapter 3 allows you to get rid of it. I'm not sure actively, but... I mean, I think you can. It might work, but overall, it just seems really hard. I have the computer version for Chapter 1, because that one's free, but I'm not playing it this time because I did get all of the mobile games, like all mobile ports of the game. And I think it would be fun to just cover all the mobile versions of the game. So if you want to see what the differences are, then here you go. There was plenty of differences between every chapter. Chapter 2 and Chapter 1 are the worst made ones, so they weren't made well. Chapters 3 and 4 were made actually incredibly well and aren't bad at all. I genuinely think Chapters 3 and 4 are great chapters, mobile or not mobile. But I don't have any of the non-mobile versions, so I have no evidence to proclaim that they're good. It's just general vibe. I've played Chapter 4 a lot, so I feel pretty confident with that game being good. I'm not sure of the other one, but Chapter 3 was more fun from, like, just a little bit I've played of it. Compared to, like, Chapter 1 and 2, which I've played all of, as you can see, considering this video is out. Now, anyways, I think the best joke there was definitely the one that was in musical memory, so I also think some really good stuff later on. Yeah, you could probably leave later on, but not right now. Please give me more views. I need them for my own ego. Anyway, so we're headed up here, trying to figure out a puzzle that did genuinely take me like a minute or two to figure out by pulling some levers. And yes, that means 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes is spent on the Mommy Longlegs section. And considering I spent pretty long on this section, which means yes, Mommy Longlegs is her whole section, well, scary, isn't used that often in the entire game. Now, anyways, I'm gonna go back to recording after a little bit. Give me a moment. Now, folks, I have come back from the recording depths. Yes, I have returned. Now, time for one of the weirdest puzzles in the game, where you gotta find a bunch of thing for the tubes in the inner layer. Why is there a bunzo thing in the middle of the water refinery? Why? The water refinery is one of the most basic puzzles in the game, and is one of the weirdest ones because of it. The Mommy Longlegs section isn't long, and I love that section. It's like my favorite moment from the park. From the chapter. It is freaky. It is horrific in certain scenes. I think it is one of the scarier moments in Poppy Playtime that is outshined by a lot of moments in chapters 3 and 4. 3 and 4 are way more unnerving, especially if you haven't played them before. Chapters 1 and 2, if you've played them before, they are basically child's play. If you haven't, they are a little scary. Yes, if you're wondering what that cut was, that was me. I had a call with one of my editors. Otter, as we refer to him here. Here in this house, we refer to him as Otter, and that's what he chose to be referred to as. Anyways, the chapters 2 and 1 are a little scary, but chapters 3 and 4 are genuinely scary every time you play them. Even though some might be for the wrong reasons, like, yeah, you don't want to replay all of No Man's Land again, so obviously just don't die in No Man's Land, which is easier said than easier done, but it is still kind of hard to not die in No Man's Land. Even on the mobile version, where Yarny can't probably can't sprint all the time, because Yarny only sprints when he sees you in the mobile version, which I think is how it is in the base game, but I'm not sure. Yeah, this puzzle's annoying though, because you gotta hit the buttons, then you gotta make sure you get this button correct, but then if you reverse it too fast, they all die anyway, so you gotta make sure that none of them die. But then they're just gonna hit a wall, so instead of making sure that they don't die, you gotta do this, and you gotta hit the button so then it lands directly to you. And that is how you gain the item. Then you gotta go down back into the water refinery. Seriously, I thought these two were separate puzzles, and I thought there was a water refinery puzzle. There was, in fact, not one. Also, I hate that there's just straight up a sign that says, do not enter. Like, why do we have this area built if no one should enter it ever? It seems stupid, and it is stupid, and will always be stupid. Stupidity has been seen here. That is the truth. The horrid truth. You gotta make your way all the way around. And this is one of the easier puzzles in the game, yet it still ain't the fun one. Like, you gotta do this, you gotta do this to free the green hand availability. Charge it up, retract your hand, the blue one, then do your jump. Then do this, boom, open the door, boom. Then, now that that door is now fully open, now you can get this done. Blue hand here, then do this, go across the wires, and boom. Boom. You done it, mate. You've opened up the door to the other side. Now you just gotta go back to that vent. After all, that's how it's always gonna be. That is one of the best moments in the game. Where you just fall down here. Then you're gonna be able to see up here, and that's when you deal with this section. What's up, mommy long legs? It's been quite a bit since I've seen you here, but I guess we gotta deal with you now. How did I cheat, man? You broke the windows. I was gonna go back to you, but I couldn't because you broke the goddamn windows, and I can't go back to you. Are you counting now? Okay, well, let me down. I'm gonna go fast. You idiot. No matter how fast you count, you know what's always gonna beat you? The game's coding. And the fact that everything doesn't look that realistic down here. This is probably a simulation that got activated by the cops. I got caught. Deadlock 2.5. I got caught in my illegal crime scheme. I was using government funds to create a new form of democracy. I mean, I know it was just straight up authoritarianism where demons ran the entire place, but I claimed it was just democracy, but, like, different. Yeah, I kind of lied my way to heaven, and that doesn't go well with some people. Anyways, I'm gonna collect this golden statue and make some funny memes again. Anyways, welcome back, folks, to another episode. Oh, no, we have blackmail on this sucker right here. We're gonna get $245 million exactly, considering that's how much money he has left in his governmental funds before I leak his entire diary. Money is the cure to all things down in here. I know it's illegal, but since when did I say I'd follow the law? Welcome to another episode again. That's just how life's gonna play out. Even if you think that's not how it's gonna play out, no matter how hard you hide your evil schemes or really just corrupt the entire country because you think it'd be funny and use governmental funds to do all of this, no matter how hard you try, you're not gonna win, and it never works. Considering I always know, since I am. I mean, I was just trying to continue the sentence, but I guess I can't for an allied master computer. I guess that also can happen, you know? Sometimes things just happen down here. Sometimes you become an immortal god, sometimes you become the worst and the biggest asshole you've ever met. You don't even have a good justification for being an asshole. You don't have necessarily a bad justification for being an asshole, but still, being an asshole in general. I think that's this entire thing. You know, he's the tier 3 in assholeness. Like, he's not an ultimate asshole, but he's not the biggest asshole. Like, he's a petty asshole who has somewhat of a reason, but not a good reason, so he just sucks as a human being. But he's not a human being, he's an AI. which that story is warning us to not create AI entirely. That should be the thing you take from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. That should be the lesson. I get that you might think the lesson is, oh, you should, not create, you should treat AI well, which could technically be the moral of the story, but I doubt that. I say the moral of the story is this. The moral of the story is simple. Simple. Don't create the AI that will cause this. Even worse, don't be alive. If you're alive and intelligent of what was left in the wreckage, just die. Because hell could await you. And artificial hell. Now, anyways, it's time to open the family barbecue, folks. Now, for my least favorite chapter of this game, it's still chapter 1 because of how buggy its mobile port and stuff is. And overall how ridiculously short it is for how much wasted potential it has. Chapter 1 is the base sector of the facility, the factory's main section. It's supposed to be cool now anyways. Wait, hold on. God dang it, you gotta come back again? Seriously? And it's the most obvious ways to hide it from you, because they're required for the puzzle to actually get you here. How would anyone not think of this? This is one of the easiest sections you can have. It's not scary. It is kind of scary still. Weird spider thingamabob. Hey, it's still not the best of the best after all. Because this hiding spot seems pretty obvious, but I always stay here just until I can. I'm adjusting my brightness so I can see everything correctly. Not because I think it's, less scary with higher brightness, so I think it is less scary with higher brightness. Now to move forward to this section. I think this section is actually really cool. And it initiates the chase scene with Mommy Longlegs here. And move forward through the steel hallways. Avoid monsters, go through fallen rocks. All ridiculous, lit here. Here's why I needed the brightness up, because you can't see crap in this game. This tunnel is impossible to see. Literally, I can't see anything in this tunnel. Then you have to stop to go up via this section to a new area that you don't get to explore. You gotta run through. God damn it. Fell all the way down, under the ground, at the speed of sound, under the ground, deep down, down as far as you can go. There can't be bottomless pits here, though. The question is, where does the hole lead? What does it do? Now we gotta go and run. That's everything. Avoid all the spinning hands. I know I stuck and sin. You should know that, but I'm still here, 'cause I'm an idiot. We're moving forward, slow down. Grab it as fast as you can and go take control. Go to the side and pull the lever, pull the lever, you keep tight, pull the goddamn lever now. Going down the hallway as you're running out into the waste, and you gotta understand this. You got nothing in the bandwidth, I got nothing. Hide the bandits in the basement, hide the bodies in the basement. I quit, and you understand this, I quit, I need to go. Everybody, run for a party, hey, where is this person? Where is no? They're approaching. I see them now. Open the door. Hold on the lever and now let's go put them into a cheese grater. Yo! Take that, Mommy. I'll show you in a cheese grater after I did a weird singing segment. I did that
You make me part of him! You can't
And if you think it sounds like a face, it also goes on objectively. That was horrible. Anyways, time for professional kidnapping, where you let the bystanders see it, but since there's an invisible wall stopping us from catching you, you're perfectly fine. What the heck, man? I hate invisible walls that stop me from catching criminals. It's more fun this way. I get the crimes to a higher level. I have a cheese grater. Move forward into the lava. Move forward into the magma sphere. Move up and up and up and up and up. Move as far as you can away from the prototype. After all, that's just how the game's gonna be played, folks. We'll take a turn for some server maintenance. Go up. We have a VHS. Oh, was there a VHS player down there? Did we load a VHS in? No.
Log code 08502.
Yeah, we did, actually.
In
I
relation.
just couldn't tell because
Experiment
the light line. In fact, I'm not listening to the audio mainly.
The prototype.
After all, it's a no-go.
Close call occurred this week in which he nearly breached containment. The prototype seemingly disassembled the digital alarm
That was one of my
clock within
custom
his
songs that
room.
I made for Pre-Wave.
Utilized the battery,
Episode 1.
along with
There is
several
still
other
more songs in the
components
way.
to
I'm
create
just
a
thinking
laser
about
pointer,
getting better mics and
which he
stuff
then
for this.
fired into the
So it sings and hears and thinks and everything is good. A bit more good than how bad it is currently. Hand me the stuff. I need the stuff. Hand me the goods. Poppy, I need the goods, and we're gonna take a leave out of here. Obviously, now, if you can't tell, Otter just sent me some new thumbnails. I'll get those ready and up.
We need to leave.
But anyways, open the goddamn door, Poppy. Open the door. Open the door. Let me in. Michael, don't leave me. Oh, thank God. I wasn't even paying attention to the footage on time for the waistline way. Open the door. Had we ever been able to access this place before? Open the door, 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 open the door now. Open it now, we need it now, we need to open the wow. Open the door. Now maybe we can initiate the code that we already know, boys. Let's go, gang. Anyways, that was chapter 2 of Poppy Playtime. Yes, you just witnessed an hour long of footage. What the f*** did I just said? Yes, there is still more editing and censorship and stuff. This is too friendly and too many curse words for me to not believe ever. But before that happens, be sure to like, subscribe.